Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video if you want to see more content like this. And as always, let me know what you want to see me make next. I'd love to hear from you down in the comments below. So as promised, today I will be showing you new whole food, plant-based, and oil-free recipes. I'm going to be making 4 different recipes using strawberries. These recipes are perfect for summertime and I can't wait to get started. So let's get right into the first one. So today for my first recipe, we're going to make my cheesecake stuffed strawberries. I'm sure you've seen these before and made many different ways, but we're going to make them whole food, plant-based, and oil-free, of course. So we're going to go ahead and start with some cashews. I soaked these overnight for 8 hours. You're going to want to do that even if you have a Vitamix because it's really going to help with the creamy texture. And then we're going to just be adding a few ingredients right into the blender with those. I have some lemon juice, some vanilla extract, then I have some maple syrup, and of course you can substitute with a compliant sweetener of your choice. And then we're going to add a little bit of water. You're going to want to add the water as you go. You're going to start with about 1 to 2 tablespoons and add as needed because every batch of cashews that have been soaked could be a little different. And so you don't want to add too much water and then your recipe not be thick enough because normally these are made with cream cheese or vegan cream cheese or coconut oil, and we're eliminating all those things today. So we want to make sure we still have a nice thick creamy texture without all of those added fats. So now I'm just going to go ahead and blend this up in my blender until everything is emulsified and creamy. So as you can see here, I needed a little more water, so I went ahead and stopped my blender, opened it up, and then you want to scrape down the sides as well just to make sure that all of your cashews get blended into your cream. So now that everything is done blending, our cream cheese filling is ready and we're just going to check the thickness. Now you just want to make sure that it's thick and creamy and smooth, and once it is, it's ready to go. This is going to take about 3 to 5 minutes in your blender. Now if you have a Vitamix, it might go a lot quicker, but I only have a Ninja. Now we're going to place this in a bowl and put it in the refrigerator for about 2 to 3 hours so that it has time to set up before we stuff our strawberries. So while our cheesecake filling is setting up in the refrigerator, we're going to make a quick little mock graham cracker crumble topping for this. Now this is optional, but it does add another element of flavor and a nice texture. So I'm going to start with some oats, some walnuts, and some cinnamon, and then we're just going to blend that up quickly in our food processor. So you're going to stop after everything's kind of blended together and just check the texture. You're going to want it to be kind of like a graham cracker crumble. And then you're going to add a sweetener of your choice. This is optional. You could stop here and just add the crumbles as is, but I feel like it adds a great depth of flavor. And I use date syrup because it's deep and rich, kind of like molasses, and I just felt like it was the perfect combination with this. My husband absolutely loved this crumble combination that I made, so I will definitely be using it in other recipes. It was kind of just something I came up off the top of my head because I wanted to make some kind of crumble to go on top of this, and it actually turned out really well. So we're just going to go ahead and blend this together, and then we're going to take it out, put it in a bowl, set it to the side so that we can prep our strawberries before we fill them. So now we're just going to quickly prep our strawberries. You can do this however you like. I have one of those strawberry haulers, but I also found that the small side of a melon baller was a lot easier, so I went ahead and used that. So I'm just going to go ahead and get all these strawberries ready to fill them up. So now that all our ingredients are ready, we're going to go ahead and fill up these strawberries. I'm just going to use a Ziploc bag because I know not everybody has a piping bag. And an easy little tip to fill up your Ziploc or your piping bag is to put it inside of a cup and then put your mixture inside, and it just makes it a lot easier for you to get everything in there. And then we're just going to snip off the end of that and then fill up these strawberries. So now that you've finished filling all of your strawberries, it's time to dip them in that crumble mixture that we made. And there you have it for the cheesecake stuffed strawberries. These are super light and delicious, and I hope you give these ones a try. So let's go ahead and get right into our next recipe. This recipe is super simple and easy. I'm sure some of you already know how to do this, but it's a recipe that I love and I enjoy and I've been making for years, and I wanted to share with those of you who've never tried it or realized how easy it was. So we're going to make some chia seed strawberry jam. So let's go ahead and get started. So for this recipe, you're going to want to start with a pot on your stovetop at medium heat, and then you're just going to add the strawberries in and some maple syrup, and we're going to let that cook down until it starts to release its juices, stirring and starting to chop up our strawberries as we go along. So this whole process takes about 5 to 7 minutes from start to finish when you are cooking down these strawberries. Then you're going to want to turn off your heat and you're going to want to mash those down some more and just make sure that you break up those strawberries and release the rest of those juices. So now that we've finished mashing up our strawberries completely, we just need to add our final ingredient, which is just the chia seeds. These chia seeds are going to act as a gelatin and really help thicken up your jam. So you're just going to stir that up until everything is really well incorporated. And then we're going to let that cool on the countertop for about an hour before we transfer it to a jar. So that's it for this one, guys. Super quick and easy. 3 ingredients, just strawberries, maple syrup, and chia seed. As always, you could substitute the sweetener for a sweetener of your choice, or you could leave it out altogether. I really love this recipe. It's a favorite in my home. My kids absolutely love it, and they can't wait to eat it. So let's go ahead and get into our third recipe of the day. We're going to go ahead and make strawberry mousse. Now, this recipe can seem intimidating at first, but it really is super quick and easy to make. The hardest part is going to be making your aquafaba, which we are going to make into stiff peaks. So let's go ahead and get right into this recipe. So to start this recipe, we're just going to cook down our strawberries, and we're going to just add those right into the pot with a little bit of maple syrup. And then we're going to add some agar powder. If you're not familiar with it, it's a gelatin substitute for vegans. It is approved on the Forks Over Knives diet, and it's easily accessible at your natural grocers, Sprouts markets, and on Amazon, of course. So we're just going to cook this on a medium heat until everything breaks down. We're basically trying to achieve the same goal as we did with the jam. We want to just wait until these strawberries release all their juices and break down so that we can mash them up, because we're going to be blending these together with our tofu. So now that our strawberries are cooked down, we're going to set those to the side. Now, this is the tofu that I'm going to use for this recipe. It's a shelf-stable tofu, so you're not going to find it in the refrigerator section. I talked about this tofu, I think, in my last Saturday video. So then we're going to go ahead and add our strawberries right into our blender. You can see it's a little gelatinous, which is from the agar powder. And then we're going to add our tofu right in there. Make sure you do allow these strawberries to cool off for about 10 minutes before you combine the two together. So now that we've added our tofu into the blender, we're just going to go ahead and add a little bit of vanilla extract. This is just going to give some added flavor. And then we're going to go ahead and mix that up completely. You want to make sure that everything is blended together. Give it enough time so that that tofu really breaks down and mixes up with that strawberry mixture. So once that's done, we're going to move on to our third and final step of this recipe, and that is making some stiff peaks with aquafaba. Now, if you're not familiar with aquafaba, it is the bean juice from a can of garbanzo beans. It might seem really weird, but I promise it comes out great, and there's enough sweetness in the mousse mixture that we've already made that's going to really complement it and take away from any weird flavor you might think that's in there. So when you're making your stiff peaks out of the aquafaba, it does take a while, but don't worry, they're never going to break like they did if you ever made stiff peaks out of egg whites before. Be patient, just let it go. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes and you will get there, I promise. Once you've gotten to the point where they are ready, you will know because you'll be able to kind of tip over your bowl and they shouldn't fall out. They might slide on the bowl, but the stiff peak should hold together. So we're going to go ahead and let this process go until I've reached stiff peaks. So now that we've reached stiff peaks, it's ready to go and we're ready to fold these two mixtures together. Now, it's important that when folding in the strawberry mixture that you don't overdo it or overmix it because you don't want to lose that fluffiness from the aquafaba. That is going to help give your mousse the texture that you're looking for. So just go ahead and gently fold in all of that until it's well incorporated. So once it's all done, you just want your mixture to look like this, nice and fluffy. And then we're just going to transfer that to some containers and you're going to want to let that set up in the fridge for about 2 to 3 hours. So that's it for this recipe, guys. You're really gonna love it. I'm super excited about this one. It's super light and fluffy and it's a perfect summertime treat. So let's go ahead and get right into this fourth and final recipe. So we're going to make my strawberry banana sorbet. This is a super quick and easy recipe. I know a lot of people know how to make nice cream. Some people don't. Some people are intimidated by it. So I just want to show you another quick, simple recipe that's easy and achievable in your kitchen. So today I will be using my Ninja blender, which is a little bit better than an average blender. So if you're using just a regular old blender at home, you probably are going to want to have this recipe because I don't think a regular blender can handle this volume, and that's the only thing. If you have a Vitamix, obviously you know you don't have to worry at all, but we're just going to add our frozen bananas, our frozen strawberries, some vanilla extract, and some of our plant milk of your choice, unsweetened of course, right into our blender, and we're going to mix that up. And we're going to stop and scrape down the sides as needed just to make sure that everything gets well incorporated and blended nicely together. So you can see here that the texture is perfect. This took about 5 minutes in my Ninja. So you're going to want to go ahead and now transfer that into a dish that you can place in your freezer so that you can let this set up. I'm going to put this in my freezer for about 4 to 6 hours so that it can completely freeze solid throughout before we serve. And there you have it for my fourth and final recipe, you guys. This is the perfect summertime treat. It's definitely going to help you cool off in those hot summer days, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, leave me a like and a comment down below. Share this video as it really helps me out. And if you make one of these recipes, as always, tag me on Facebook or Instagram, and you can also find me on TikTok. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye!